Well, after 5.5 years, it finally happened. Yeah, I got COVID. I went 5.5 years without catching the vid. I rode through this whole thing right from the Seattle area, just mere miles from ground zero where this thing started. I got vaccinations early on. I haven't had one for a while. That might have something to do with what happened, but look, I'm not gonna waste a whole lot of time going into this whole thing. Let me just tell you, it sucked. I talked to a friend who's had it 5 times. He said 3 times he had it. It was just like an annoying cold and it wasn't anything. 2 times it was very serious and it was really terrible. I got the very serious, really terrible kind. It was bad. Michael Ann had gone to stay with her sister in Arkansas. I had 10 days alone in the house. I thought I was gonna just revamp everything, tear down everything, really get a hold of things like being able to work whatever hours late into the night or really early in the morning and make a bunch of noise like I can't normally do. I was just gung-ho to do a whole bunch of stuff. Second day in, wham, just knocked down by COVID. Terrible fever. I had, mainly for me, the worst part of it was a fever. I had 2 days where I'm in my clothes, in blankets, in bed with the blankets on top of me and I can't get warm. It was awful. Really bad headache. Yeah, I don't know. I assume most everybody's had it at this point. How is it for you? Did you have the easy kind or did you have the hard kind? And we'll just leave it at that. The thing that really annoyed me is I was getting back on track after this awful summer at the end of this awful year so far. Was ready to really get going again, get back on the videos, and it delayed me again. But here we are. I'm gonna make this video. Hopefully I'm gonna get back on track and yeah, talk about reselling, which is what this channel is about, and that's what we're gonna talk about. I've got numbers, I've got some thoughts about some things that have been going on recently with postage and postage rates and what kind of stuff is working to sell for me right now. So I figured I could tell you about that, and that'll be better than talking about COVID or any of that BS. So let's do that. I've had some decent sales. They haven't been great. Like, I'll be honest. I've heard from a lot of people sales haven't been great. It's summer. They're supposed to be picking up now that we're going into the fall. So hopefully that will be the case. And I did get more listing done and I did see better results as usual. The more you list, the more you'll sell. You don't need to learn that lesson again or necessarily hear it from me. I figure what I would do is just tell you about some stuff that has sold and tell you what has worked for me. Lately, most of what I've been selling is media. CDs, DVDs, vinyl records, books. I have a lot of these things listed and I've been focusing on listing these things because a lot of the other stuff that I list that isn't in that category hasn't been selling as well. And I think it's because of the shipping rates now. So in the past, I sold a lot of miniatures, metal miniatures like D&D, Warhammer, stuff like that. And I've sold a lot of that stuff in the past and it sold really well for me and it usually sells really fast. A couple weeks ago, I listed 24, I think, new auctions of brand new stuff that I just got a hold of. It was really good stuff. I listed it, and one of the things I noticed when I was setting up my listings is with the new shipping rates, the very cheapest these little miniatures could go for, even if it was just 3 ounces, the metal miniature in a small box, say 3 ounces, it was still saying that the minimum shipping on that was gonna be like between $6 and $7. Depending on where they were at. If it was someone on the other side of the country, they were gonna have to pay like $9 to get that miniature to them. And it had never been like this before. Now, media mail prices came down with the last price increase. It went from, well, it came down by about 20 cents. So that makes sense because at the lowest amount, like at the lowest weight that I was shipping stuff out, I was seeing that like some things that I would ship media, I could just spend a few cents more and send them ground, the first class, whatever it's called now, ground. And it wouldn't save me any money to send it media. So I was going that way. Now with the new rates, they increased one and lowered the other. So it's always right now better to send media items by media mail from a financial perspective. But for the small items, the items that I would normally sell for between say like $7 and $15, it's too much. The shipping added on is just too much to make it worth it. And I'm not gonna put them up for $25 and say, you know, shipping included. I don't do shipping included auctions. For a long time, I haven't done that. And I'm not gonna do that because it just doesn't seem like, I mean, then these miniatures that people know aren't worth that are gonna just seem too expensive on the face of it. So I'm not sure what the answer is. I think the answer is stop selling individual small things in that like sub $15 category. Just lot things up and make sure that they're getting a bigger bang for their buck. They're getting more miniatures if they're gonna have to add that $6, $7, $8. Yeah, anyway, so this is what I'm thinking right now. We'll see if it holds, but this is what I'm thinking right now for why so much media stuff is selling for me. I think it's just the better value right now for the shipping price. Okay, and with that, let's go into some of the stuff I have sold recently. I sold this hardcover book, near perfect condition, Stranger in a Strange Land. I got this at an estate sale for like $1, sold it for $19.99 plus shipping. This Art of D&D book, this is a really nice book, and I wanted to keep this book for myself, honestly. There's a lot of great stuff in there. If you've seen that Eye of the Beholder movie, that documentary about the art of D&D, this has a lot of the art from that documentary or from that era. It was very cool. I got this at a garage sale for $25, sold it for $24.99 plus shipping. I sold this Pathfinder adventure card game add-on. I think it's called Mummy's Mask. Yes, Mummy's Mask add-on deck. Brand new condition. I got this at a half price books for $2 and I sold it for $19.99 plus shipping. Everything is plus shipping. I say the price, it's plus shipping. Heavenly Punk Girl CD on K Records. Got this at a garage sale for $1. $29.99 is what I got for it. And now we'll get into DVDs. I'm gonna talk about some of the DVDs that I showed in the last video. I'm gonna do that in a minute. Right now I'll talk about some DVDs that aren't from that video. It's just some ones that I've sold recently. History Channel's History's Mysteries, The Inquisition. Sold that for $9.99. Wolf DVD. This is the one with Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer. $11.99. Sold that twice. River Monsters. This was good. I watched this because one of the discs was a little scratched and I wanted to make sure that it was in good condition, and I kind of wanted to keep it. These were good. This show was a good show. $15.99, and I'm not surprised. Smoke Signals DVD for $16.99, and since I sold this one, I sold another one. I have no more copies of this. I sell this thing constantly. Grab this whenever you see it. It sells pretty quick. Stephanie Birdsall, How to Paint Flowers and Oils. This is another one of those instructional DVDs that I found. I sold this for $19.99. The Osterman Weekend, brand new. I went to a garage sale that had a ton of DVDs that were all brand new for $2 a piece, and I picked this one up. It went for $19.99. Howling 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf. This was in brand new condition. I put it up for somewhere around $30 because it looks like people look for this one. I ended up taking an offer for $24. And Don Mateo 6 DVD set. Look, I have sold this twice now, or maybe 3 times. This one really, really seems to do well. It's Terrence Hill. If you remember Super Cop, it's not Super Cop. Super Cop? Was it Super Cop? What was the movie from the 70s where there was an atomic bomb and the guy saw red, he lost his powers, but he had powers as long as he was like super fast. It was the guy from My Name is Nobody, Terrence Hill. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Maybe it wasn't called Super Cop. Super Fuzz. It was called Super Fuzz. I loved that movie. I've always thought this guy was cool. He went and made this show in Italy, I think, where he plays this priest solving mystery murders or whatever. $39.99 for that one. Okay, and these next videos are all DVDs and one VHS tape that I showed in my previous video. These were all things that I was excited that I was going to get listed, and since that video, I listed them and these sold. Tony Hawk's Secret Skate Park Tour. Didn't think it was going to go for much, and it kind of went for the high end, I think, of what I thought. It went for $6.99. Man from Earth DVD, $11.99, and I have also sold 2 of these and have none left now. History Channel Classics Samurai 4-disc set. This went for $11.99. Puppy culture, attention is the mother of all behaviors. I talked about this one a little bit in that video. This went for $12.99 plus shipping. I did have another one of those, so I believe I've still got another one listed, but I pick these up whenever I see them. Yancey Derringer DVD set for a TV show that I totally believe ever actually existed. That went for $12.99. 28 days later / 28 weeks later DVD, combined DVD set, that was $19.99 plus shipping. Right where I thought it would be. Frontier House DVD, I had this one up for like $39.99, then I lowered it to like $34.99. In the end, I took a offer for 25 bucks, but I needed to pad my money that week, and I knew my weekly money was about to transfer out, and I didn't like how low it was, so I sent out some really good offers to people. So I ended up taking 25 bucks for this, not bad. Kyle XY, the third and final season, brand new. This one went for $29.99. Watcher in the Woods. Didn't really want to get rid of this one. Very, very cool. Has a nice booklet inside. This one went for $34.99. Choke DVD with Hickson Gracie. I was pronouncing his name wrong, but then I watched the movie, which was really good, and I realized I was saying it wrong in the last video, and I should have known that. As soon as I heard them say it in the movie, I went, of course, I've heard that name before. I know this guy's name. Anyway, Hickson Gracie. I went for $35.99. Good movie, and definitely grab that if you see it. Making Mischief. This was the dude from Fall Out Boy's weird little fashion DVD that he made with Nordstrom. This was a brand new copy. I ended up getting $49.99 for that. Six String Samurai. I talked about this in the last video, VHS tape. I put it up for, I think, $45 or something like that. $44.99 probably, maybe even $50. But I ended up taking an offer for it for $35. Another one of those things like the Frontier House DVD where it was the end of the week and I needed to pad it. So I'm not gonna be upset about 35 bucks for something I think I paid $1 for. I think that's pretty good. That's the kind of deal I always wanna make. Okay, that's it for my list. The only other thing I wanted to show you from just now is after I made that list, I made a sale and I thought I would talk about it. This is a lot of 22 CDs. They are all the same kind of CD. They are world music CDs. It's like jazz and like Latin jazz and Zydeco and all kinds of different stuff. Samba, Bossa Nova, American Blues, lots of stuff in here. It's all from a company called Putumayo World Music, or Putumayo, or I don't know how I'm saying it. That almost sounds like I'm cursing. I don't know. There's 22 of these DVDs. And the thing about these, I got a big lot of DVDs and these were all mixed in through there. And as I was checking the prices, none of these were coming out of having enough value to sell on their own. But in the end, I had a big stack and they were all the same style. And I thought, well, I don't want to just take these to half price books and get a couple pennies a piece for them. What should I do? So I lotted them up together, even though, some of these are in brand new condition, some of these are fairly scratched, but when you're lotting them up, you can kind of say, hey, this disc and this disc are scratched. The rest of them are really nice, but I'm putting them all in just to be a completionist for what I have. I put it up for $79.99, thinking that would be too much, then I'd have to take an offer. I did end up taking an offer for $59.99 plus shipping, but that's not bad. That is not bad at all. 60 bucks for 22 DVDs, none of which I would probably get more than $5 individually if I could even find a buyer for them. So people will buy CDs in lots, and I may have said DVDs a bunch of times while describing these because I got DVDs on the brain, but people will buy CDs in lots so much more readily than they will buy individual DVDs. So individual CDs, they will buy CDs in lots. People will buy CDs in lots so much more readily than they will buy individual CDs. I've seen that over and over again. Whenever you get an opportunity, when you're out there looking, you see a big CD lot, a big CD collection that someone's willing to let go cheap, even if those CDs are not worth a lot individually, as long as they can be lotted up by artist, 6 Madonna CDs, 8 print CDs, whatever it might be. Those are just some examples that I've done. If you do that, you will find that they sell much better than trying to do them individually. Selling a CD for like $4 or $5, by the time they put the shipping on and then, you know, they take the final value fee off of the total, you're making very little. It's a lot of hassle to pack up and ship. It's way better to do it like this. So there you go. I hope there's been something of value for you in this video, but if not, I've got more coming, and yeah, I'll get back into things here now that I am done being sick, and I am hopefully done with all the awfulness of this year. Please, let's just get through the rest of it in one piece. All right. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, or that's the opposite. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thanks.